And let me recognize the gentleman from Kansas, Mr. Estes, to strike the last word.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, in Kansas and throughout the country, mental health continues to ravage families and communities, and it's tragically getting worse. In August, I sat down with hospital administrators to discuss what they are facing in our urban and rural hospitals. Not surprisingly, the state of America's mental health is one of the main concerns. Across big cities and small towns, Americans are struggling with anxiety and depression, which has been fueled by stimulants and with other substance abuse disorders. Doctors and nurses are doing everything they can to help struggling patients, but they also need common sense policies from Washington that will help the crisis and not make things worse. So today we have an opportunity to address an aspect of this crisis through a bill I've introduced with a friend and colleague, Congressman Panetta, the Fighting Stimulants and Other Substance Use Disorders Act. A report from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation has found that the price for purchasing methamphetamines on the street has drastically dropped from 2014 to 2019 due to the increased production and importation of Mexican methamphetamine. The latest numbers from my state show how horrible toll this has been. Meth accounts for almost 44% of overdose deaths in Kansas. And we've also heard from law enforcement sound alarm bells over the rise in crime linked with drugs, particularly with meth. In Sedgwick County, where I live, it's reported that 70% of all drug crimes involve meth. While there is medical assistance treatment for those addicted to opioids, resources are scarce for those struggling with methamphetamines and other stimulant addiction. Earlier this year, during a Ways and Means hearing, a witness told us, "We do have contingency management, which is behavioral therapy proven to work for stimulant use disorder, for cocaines and methamphetamines, which is vastly underutilized in all of our communities across the country. So yes, we need more tools, and yes, we need to actually use the tools that our researchers and clinicians and scientists have already built for us." She went on to address the barriers to contingency management, one of which is the prohibition of using federal funds for the treatment, locking out Medicaid and Medicare patients from accessing this potentially life-saving resource. Our common sense legislation will task Health and Human Services to review evidence-based contingency management incentives so that we can remove a barrier that's shutting out patients from an effective treatment while also ensuring safeguards against fraud and abuse. This is an opportunity to help individuals in each of our communities, and I would encourage my colleagues to support this life-saving bill.